All right, if you're a React developer, you have definitely been here. You've asked yourself, what is the right tool for managing my app's state? Today, we're going to break it all down. We'll look at React's built-in state, the context API, and a powerhouse like Redux, so you can make the right call every time. Prop drilling, right? That feeling of passing data down through like 5, 6, 7 components. Or what about when you make one tiny change and you watch your whole app needlessly re-render? It's a real pain. Getting state management right is absolutely key to a fast, scalable app, and we're about to show you exactly how to nail it.
So, where do we start? Well, we start at the beginning with the default tool in every single React dev's toolbox, built-in state. This is your foundation, your home base, and honestly, a lot of the time, it's all you're ever going to need.
I love this analogy. Think of built-in state, using hooks like useState, as a sticky note you slap right on your monitor. It's for a quick, local reminder that only that one component needs to see. It's private, it's simple, and if a component is just minding its own business, this is hands down the best, most performant way to go.
So yeah, useState and useReducer are absolutely perfect for things like tracking form inputs, or whether a dropdown is open or closed. Simple UI stuff. But, and this is the big one, you have to watch out for that classic warning sign on the right, prop drilling. The second you find yourself passing state down through components that don't even use it, just to get it somewhere else, that's your signal that your state has outgrown its local home.
So when that happens, what's next? Well, that something more is usually React's own context API. It's the natural next step. It's like a bridge built specifically to solve that prop drilling problem. So if local state is your personal sticky note, think of the context API as the big whiteboard in the middle of the team room. Now anyone can just walk up and look at the whiteboard to get the information they need. No more passing little notes down the line. It's perfect for global data that lots of components need access to, no matter where they are in the app. Context is an amazing fit for stuff like user authentication, theme settings, light mode versus dark mode, or language preferences, things that many components need, but that don't change every single second. But here's the catch, and you gotta know the catch: performance. When that value on the whiteboard updates, every single component looking at it re-renders. That makes it a really poor choice for high-frequency updates, like tracking mouse coordinates or something. Okay, so what do you do when your shared state is not only complex, but also updates all the time? Well, that's when you bring in the heavy hitters. That's when you reach for a powerhouse like Redux. Let's complete our analogy. If context is the casual team whiteboard, Redux is like the formal company-wide database. You can't just walk up and scribble on it, no way. You have to submit a formal change request, which Redux calls an action, and a specific gatekeeper, the reducer, is in charge of making the update. Sure, it's more setup, but what you get in return is an incredibly robust, predictable, and fully auditable system for your state.
Redux is really built for those large-scale apps where tons of different components all rely on the same piece of data, and that data is changing constantly. And the developer tools are just amazing. You can literally rewind your app state to see what happened. But all that power comes at a cost, and that cost is boilerplate. For a simple app, using Redux is like using a sledgehammer to crack a nut. It's just over-engineering, plain and simple.
Okay, so we have our 3 tools, from the simple sticky note to the complex database. Now let's get to the most important part. How do you actually pick the right one for the job? Let's walk through a really simple decision framework. Choosing the right tool is really all about understanding the trade-offs. So let's just put these 3 side by side and see how they stack up. This table basically tells the whole story. Look at the rows here. Built-in state is low complexity with almost no boilerplate, perfect for local state. Context is still pretty simple, but notice that caution flag under performance. That's the trade-off. Then you get to Redux. It's highly optimized for tons of updates, but you're paying for it with higher complexity and more boilerplate. The pattern is crystal clear. As your state needs get bigger, the complexity of the right tool goes up too. So this gives us a dead simple 3-step process. 1, always, always, always start with local state. Keep it simple. 2, the second you start feeling that pain of prop drilling, lift that state up into context. And 3, if your shared state and context is updating so often that it's causing performance problems, then, and only then, is it time to reach for a library like Redux. And that right there is the main takeaway. The goal is to avoid over-engineering your state from the get-go. Don't reach for the biggest, baddest tool just because you might need it someday. Solve the problem you have today with the simplest tool that works. So I'll leave you with this one question for your next project. or even the one you're working on right now. What is the simplest solution that works for this app today? Because choosing the right tool isn't about planning for every possibility in the future, it's about keeping your code clean and your app fast right now.